Okay, welcome back. It is day 152 of coding every day. Um, so today I had my presentation. Stayed up all night as usual. I stayed up till like 5 a.m. Then like had 2 hours of that sleep of like I know I need to get up and I don't trust my alarm, so I'm like waking up in a panic every 30 minutes, like thinking I missed it. Um, so yeah, that wasn't too fun. The actual presentation, it didn't go bad. Um, I was able to show. So I think the biggest thing was, um, people just had such bigger benchmarks, um, and that was basically the only like everything worked perfectly for what I was demonstrating. It was just my benchmarks just weren't big enough. Like people were doing 50 by 50 matrices multiplications that were taking like a billion clock cycles. The most I could show, and I didn't even show it because the I had it set up that it was when I would run X amount of cycles. Well, actually, I do have like a run all instructions thing, but it doesn't. I don't have it set up to count the clock cycles, but I have a thing that you can enter in a certain amount of clock cycles that you want to go by, up to 1,000. So I'd click it, but because what I was doing for that was I was just doing like my step instruction um, thing, and so um, and then I just a for loop of how many ever times the user entered and clicked, but that was updating the UI every single time, so it took so long. Like, I mean, to do 1,000 cycles took like 10 seconds, which is not good because, like I said, like if I wanted to do a bigger matrix multiplication, that would take, like if I did some of the matrix multiplications that people did in their demos today, it would take hours, right? When it should take no more than like a minute, just because the UI stuff, which I can change within 10 minutes. It was just I didn't know. He never like put a how big of a matrix he said his only constraint was like, oh, it needs to fill cache and then has show eviction in cache, which mine did in a 16 line cache. But so I mean, I don't think his big thing, it wasn't so much the matricy. I think the matricy he was fine with. It was the exchange sort, just a bubble sort, that I only had 4 values because, well, number one, I asked my partner to do it and then he ghosted me pretty much. So that was what I stayed up for a while working on because um, I hadn't worked with I have a BLT instruction, which is like a branch of less than, and it just took me a while to get that working correctly how I wanted it to. Um, and so I was able to get it working with 4 instructions, but for some reason when I would go over that, it would start copying a value into a register and then not copying the other value into the register that I wanted. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at that, and then so so I still have time though. There's still a couple weeks until the final draft. There are no more demos anymore, but I want to make sure that I can do like a 20 by 20 matrice and do like you know I don't know 200 array elements, bubble sort. Um, that way it just shows benchmarks better. That's the only thing. The other thing though, like I hope he didn't really deduct any points, which I think the demos are literally just show up and you get the points. Um, is it did like showed clearly that without a pipeline, like if you don't do the parallelism parallelism, yeah, in a pipeline, it slows it down by a little bit, not actually that crazy amount because the delay takes so long for DRAM, but it does. But like without cache, you can see how much worse it is. So, but yeah, as for what you saw behind me while I'm talking here, I was just working on a feature for my website, Quibbly. I just added a past due because if stuff went past due, you had no way to delete it or do anything with it. So I need to get a past due thing up there. So that was pretty easy to do. So yeah, that is all I did today. Probably gonna work on computer system principles tomorrow, or I don't know. We'll see. So I will see you tomorrow for day 153. Yeah. Take care. Bye.